All right, welcome everyone to my interview show. I'm Zach Frazier, and I'm here with AesirAesthetics of
Hello.
of gaming YouTube light fame. Uh,
Yes,
with
that's me.
as I'm reading it, 440 subscribers. Though,
440.
yeah, but on
Oh,
Twitter
cool.
you said you wanted to get up to like 600 by certain month.
Yeah,
Mhm.
you gotta work towards some goal.
Right. Yeah. Let's get right into it. So my first question, I just kind of this is kind of what I want to my interviews to be sort of about is just how people got into the gaming YouTube space and sort of their inspirations. So like what made you decide to talk about Batman Arkham Knight, and then just do this YouTube thing?
Well, I kind of have a horrible confession to make. I'm
Hmm.
not proud of this. Uh, my channel used to be a Let's Play channel,
Oh, wait.
and yeah, every video was the worst Let's Play video in the world.
So is that why they're all gone? Probably.
Yeah, I've put them all to private. I don't
Okay.
have the heart to delete them because there are
Hmm.
500 of them.
Holy, are you kidding?
They're so bad. I can probably send you one of them.
That would be lovely.
I'll put it to unlisted and send you. It is just, and like I can't stress how bad they are.
Hmm.
But I finally grew out of that phase, thank God. And I had the channel, and I kind of thought, well, I was playing Arkham Knight. Oh, I think this game is kind of good. I have some problems with it. So, and I thought, well, since Super Bunny Hop, Matthew Matoses, a lot of great guys are doing this already. I'm I know enough about video games. I've played video games. I can definitely do this.
Yeah.
And it's just the Arkham Knight trailer looping like five
Oh my, yeah,
times
I know, dude. I'm really
while I
familiar with that trailer now.
discuss like very petty problems, and there's no structure to it at all, and it's just
Yeah,
it's no good.
it was so weird going back to it because I started when I first found you on the video game analysis Reddit. I watched the Silent Hill video. That was the first one. So going
Yeah.
back to Arkham Knight, where you just kind of like you just randomly picked up a microphone and were just kind of saying whatever is on your mind.
Yeah,
Very free form.
it was my laptop microphone, mind you.
Okay.
It's no good.
Hmm.
And I had some free to use video editor, and it was just like if you watch the subsequent videos, uh, every single still image is an image I personally made in Paint,
Oh,
and I personally located them, and oh, it's so bad. It's really bad.
so you basically made like for your vertical slices and simplicity in video games, like you
Yeah,
basically made stop motion videos.
yeah.
Oh man,
Oh,
I'm
and
so sorry.
In Paint.
In Paint.
Yeah, it's awful.
Yeah. So clearly you kind of stepped away from doing that Paint style video. Was it
Yes.
just like too much time?
Yeah, kind of. It was also just that I thought my videos were really bad, and I was like, I hate this. I was getting kind of frustrated. Like, I want to make a better video. I guess I'll make. I want to do a 10-minute discussion. I guess I'll make it 2 minutes because I don't have time. I have a full job.
Oh, okay.
But with it, it was also just that I knew I kind of wanted to because I have a lot of fun editing and researching this stuff because I am like I'm genuinely interested about video games,
Hmm.
which is kind of what drives me to do the videos because I
Right.
learn a lot from that. The retro analysis series actually gets me to actively play a lot of games I otherwise mightn't. But I forget the I what were we discussing?
Why you moved on from your Paint stint?
Yeah, that was just because I knew that that wasn't gonna cut it anymore. I knew that to do good videos, like I want to do 30 minutes discussions on this game.
Hmm.
I can't do that with Paint.
Right. At least not in a doable amount of time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and good.
I mean, there's someone who can probably do the gimmick of animating a 30-minute video, but
Not me.
yeah, right.
But there's also just that, when editing, especially with audio and video, so many times it's, oh, I really like how this came out. I want to fix this audio, which means I'll have to kind of fix the video here and here.
Yeah,
That's so difficult to do if you're doing like frame by frame animations.
right. Yeah, as I've made like 2 videos, and it's hard to like write a script and then be like, how are the words and the video going to like work together?
Yeah.
Like, how is one going to inform the other? And it's like, oh, I already recorded 8 minutes of audio. I don't want to have to go back. And just because I had like this video idea, so imagining animation, like that would
Hmm.
just be absurd.
Yeah.
But so you were talking about your research process a little bit. That's something I'd like to know about because you just did a 55-minute
Oh,
Morrowind video.
it
And
broke me in a lot of ways.
talk about the research process and just kind of making that huge video. I mean, that's your longest video. Second longest is probably I'm looking at your channel.
It's probably in the 30-minute ballpark.
You're right. Yeah, I think Link to the Past only by like what 20 seconds. Like
Yeah.
so. Yeah.
Yeah. The research process for Morrowind uh, was really difficult because I made it. It took 3 months to make. I knew I kind of wanted to discuss it. I had a rule. I said, I think it was in my Mega Man video. I said I'm gonna be looking at a pre-2000s PC game, and Morrowind is not a pre-2000 PC game.
Right.
But I kind of said it, kind of throw the net out there. Do you have any ideas, loyal viewers? But I was already playing Morrowind by then. I chose to do. I chose it right after A Link to the Past, but for A Link to the Past, I said I'll look into an NES game because I knew that would at least be simpler,
Right.
and I could kind of do that on the side. But for Morrowind, yeah, that's well over 100 hours of playing. I think I put it around 300 hours making the video, and that's a lot. Just watching interviews, reading the dialect, reading just written articles
Hmm.
from the development team around the time. Kind of, yeah, and from there I kind of got, okay, this is what the developers set out to do. This is kind of the historical context the game released in. After that, I kind of went into, okay, here's Morrowind Arena, Elder Scrolls Arena. Here's Daggerfall. What is the developers kind of? What were they discussing there? Oh, it's interesting that their perspective kind of changed, and then it changed again. It's actually pretty funny when you look at. I don't want to call anyone out, but I think Todd Howard is a great developer.
Hmm.
I mean, he made Morrowind, so he can coast on that for the rest of his career. But I think it's really interesting if you watch uh, the press kind of circus around Fallout 4,
Hmm.
because it seems like that's kind of, okay, this probably isn't the game he wanted to make. He says here that they gave the main character a voice to make it more story driven, but the game itself, he says, is about the player, and it became kind of weird to figure out his exact design ethos. So I had to kind of separate that away from it. Here's what they set out to do with Morrowind, and here's when and even afterwards, they've kind of changed their attitudes on that game. So it became kind of, well, this is what they set out to do with Morrowind. So when they made it, so that's kind of where I have to start. And from there was just a lot of notes I had taken myself from playing, a lot of insight I had gotten from the Morrowind subreddit, shout out, and the RPG Gamer subreddit, again, shout out, and just kind of discussing it with some people to get what drove them towards the game.
What exactly did like Bethesda and the developers say, like post Morrowind, that you kind of decided shouldn't you shouldn't really look at in your analysis?
Well, it's kind of you look at like Skyrim, and I think Skyrim is good. I've spent I've spent way too many hours into that game to say it's not. But that that game doesn't really have. Uh, this is kind of interesting. Uh, I'm just kind of wrapping my head around the question. Actually, it's weird. It's so Morrowind is, you have the game, you have the story and all that, and it works. The the game is it's really interwoven. Everything kind of builds into each other, and it's very clear that they didn't separate the game and the story from the no. They didn't separate the player-driven freedom exploration element from the story.
Right.
It all kind of plays together. But then come Skyrim, come Fallout 4, it seems like they're a lot more interested in separating them. Again, with like if you Super Bunny Hop did a good video on this. The main story in Skyrim, it has so little to do with how that game plays, like in general, because most of the time you're stealing cheese rolls and shouting at orcs or chicken, but the main quest doesn't really encourage you to play the game that you want to play.
Right.
That's kind of different with Fallout 4, but I think it's just focus mainly. They kind of, and maybe that's not so much on how they approached Morrowind and how their approach to that changed as much as it is just that, well, with Morrowind, this is what we want to do with player freedom. This is how we want to interpret it. Maybe with Skyrim, we kind of want to separate the two because now we have a 400-person team and it's just impossible to structure it all. I don't claim to know how Bethesda works or how many people they have working for them, but yeah, it's kind of priorities changed when the series started making billions of dollars.
Right.
I think that's a very jumbly way to put it.
Just their idea of the series has like morphed. So like it's kind of like looking back on Morrowind is like their perspective is different now, sort of.
Yeah, actually, you look at Morrowind, that game had a lot of modding support.
Yeah.
So Bethesda came out and went, oh, our fans really like to mod our games. We'll make that maybe a little easier. And suddenly the design kind of gets pulled a little into that direction and a little away from what Morrowind is. Because Morrowind wasn't... I can't wholeheartedly say that Morrowind was designed to be a game that was like driven by mods. I could say that about Fallout 4. I won't because like I wasn't involved in designing it. But it feels like their focus changed from we want to do this game, we want to do a lot of story, like really interesting video game driven interpretations of theology, to, well, our fans actually don't like that as much as they like, Macho Man Randy Savage.
Being a dragon, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think the evolution is, of course, driven by what people, what the fan feedback was.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to give you a compliment about your video. When you talked about the guilds being like the sort of the tutorials or like just I don't know, like the way to get into the world, and like those like allow you to role play into the
Yes,
game.
kind of like easy access valves.
Right. That was fucking genius. Like I've never played
Yeah.
Morrowind. I played a lot of Oblivion, a little bit of Skyrim, and like it just, at least in Skyrim, the guilds felt very like weak and just sort of like extra stuff to do. But I know
Yeah.
that Morrowind's guilds are very like interlocked, and like if you go to one, you can't join another and stuff like that. And the fact that like they had it so that it was a easy way of like playing your character and be like, what are my ideologies? What weapons do I even use? You know. So it was both eye-opening to see how cool Morrowind was, and I felt like, oh, he fucking put that shit together. Damn.
Yeah, again, full credit to Bethesda. I think the guilds are really good because it's kind of like, oh, you want to join the Fortress Legion? Well, fuck you. You're a Velothi piece of garbage. You can censor that out if your show is PG.
Oh no, it's fucking R, baby.
Oh, baby.
But so are you saying that Bethesda sort of? You said thanks to Bethesda, so I didn't know if that was like them. They like someone said in an interview like, "Oh, the guilds are a gateway," or you're just saying thank you for making this good game that did that.
Maybe it wasn't an interview. I don't remember. It's kind of bled into just this mush that is my brain right now. No, I don't remember reading it, but it's too well made to have just been an accident.
Right.
So, of course. And, it probably wasn't an interview. It was probably somebody I reached out to on probably Reddit who came up with that.
Mm-hmm. Oh. Damn
Probably.
It.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, subreddit user Billy Porkins. You're a real good guy.
That Billy Porkins, man. You gotta love him.
Another thing about the Morrowind video that I wanted to connect to another video. You call the Morrowind map a sort of a context puzzle, which I thought was interesting. But in the last video, when you're talking about Outlast, you call that map sort of a puzzle, but as a sort of in a derogatory way. And I want to know, what is the difference there?
Well, which map did I refer to as a puzzle, Amnesia or Outlast? Because I don't remember.
You called Outlasts like a very obvious puzzle.
Yeah, I think it has to do. I might have said it was a logic-based puzzle.
Yeah.
The difference there is that logic, it's just the puzzle essentially becomes, well, if you walk here, then 1 plus 2. Whereas with Morrowind, it's sort of, well, let me rephrase that. With Outlast, it's really just numbers. It's, okay, I do this, and out comes this. Whereas with Morrowind, it's, okay, so I have to talk to this guy, and I have to walk on this road, and I have to earn the allegiance of this culture, and then this. It's one of them is pure kind of mathematics. It's almost just 1 plus 2 equals I need to get out of this room. Mm-hmm. Whereas with Morrowind, it's very interpretive, and the puzzle itself kind of drives you through immersing yourself in the world, if that makes sense.
Right. Because you have to know the map, you have to get accustomed to it, and the factions and the characters to be able to strategically maneuver throughout and get to your goal.
Yeah, in a lot of ways. You can probably, I said you couldn't do this, but you probably could. It's probably possible that you can just, stumble ass backwards out of, like, win Morrowind ass backwards, because you can definitely do that with Outlast. I don't hate Outlast. I think I paid out on it a lot more than it deserved. But with Morrowind, you have to actively play the game. Whereas with Outlast, oftentimes I just hug the right wall. It's actually a trick. Like, if you're in a maze, touch the right wall and follow it, because that will eventually lead you out. Huh. That was kind of how you play Outlast. If you want to play it effectively, you just hug a wall, follow it, and eventually you will pick up everything important.
Right.
You'll pick up the items, you'll find the open doors, and all that. And when an enemy comes, well, at least you know where the items are.
Right. So I guess
With
oh,
yes,
I was gonna say, so compared to Amnesia, I guess like the linearity of it just kind of deflates its psychological horror, which I guess it didn't really effectively have. But in Amnesia, you're backtracking and like areas are different and stuff. You can't just follow the right wall. You have to think about where you're going and stuff
yeah,
like that.
Amnesia actually, like, the first thing that if you start a new game, the first thing Amnesia says is you're not playing to win, you're playing to be immersed.
Right.
So it kind of says if you're a completionist, if you want to earn achievements or trophies, this isn't the game for you. And that's really good. That puts you in kind of in the frame of mind of what it is. And yeah, like you said, it's, you're backtracking, you're reading various diary pages, you're listening to, click something about something in the other room. Something unlocked in there. I have to go check it out. It was probably that chest I couldn't open earlier.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, again, mainly because of the diary notes, Amnesia kind of becomes a context-based puzzle as well. If I'm not contradicting myself.
No, no, I don't think you are. Yeah, because like the context, i.e., it's a sort of environmental narrative, because obviously Amnesia doesn't have characters besides you. Okay, well, there's one guy that you take his head to the end, but whatever. Most of
Agrippa,
it, right? Most of it, it's
my
you
man.
just reading, environmental clues and stuff like that to figure out puzzles inside the game.
Yeah, and
Whereas,
all the while you're uncovering the secrets of your mysterious past.
right?
Am I a good guy? Am I a bad guy?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I haven't played it. I'm too scared. Uh, I get like 20 minutes in, and I'm like, nah, man, I'm done.
Well, you're safe for the first, I think, maybe hour. I think
Oh,
you're
I know
safe.
that. I'm pretty aware of that, but like just the
Ah,
tension build. Ugh.
the door slammed, scripted in front of me. I'm
Yes.
not playing.
Oh my god. Uh, but that brings me to another question. So you've talked about Amnesia, Outlast, Silent Hill, and I'll say System Shock is sort of horror, um, to a degree. Would you agree with that, or am I off
uh,
base?
no, I mean, I think at least, if it's not horror, it at least inferred a lot of horror game design.
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely think it's fair to count it.
Right.
It's sort of a campy cyberpunk adventure now, but you can probably count that. You can probably do that.
Mm-hmm. Well, are you like a horror aficionado? Like, do you
Yeah.
watch a lot of horror movies and like stuff like that?
Uh, I really like horror.
Mm-hmm.
When I was a kid, my mom got a bunch of like burnt DVDs, and one of them was Saw 2, and I watched it, and like that's that's kind of gross out horror.
Yeah.
Um, but that's just psychologically scarred me for years, and I would go on tirades. Why would anyone watch horror? It's so disgusting. People are sick. I just calling out horror in general, but no, I really like horror now. Especially in video games. It's really interesting how video games are sort of the perfect medium
Mm-hmm.
for horror, if that makes sense.
No, yeah, I definitely agree with that.
Or if maybe horror is the perfect thing to do with video games, because horror is really, it's a kind of melancholy look at the human condition. I don't know. I think that's really interesting. I've definitely love horror. The Amnesia Outlast comparison actually started out as, well, I haven't done a horror video in a while.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just, okay, here's this. I kind of played a bit of Outlast. Well, I might as well complete it. Well, that wasn't very good, but Amnesia sure was. So maybe Maybe I have a video here.
Right. I love your backhanded compliment you give Outlast. Like, Outlast did one thing really great. It made me love Amnesia even more.
uh, yeah, I tried really hard in my video not to crap on anyone. I did it for the Sonic video. I think we'll be getting into that a bit later. I don't think Sonic really deserved that, but at the same time, it's sort of like, I mean, it's Sonic. Everyone craps on him. This
Right.
is this is just, another drop in the bucket.
Mhm.
But like with Outlast, I genuinely think that if you look at it as the developers were capitalizing on kind of the YouTube craze,
Mhm.
I think that really, really makes the game come together, because it is the perfect game to be watched as a Let's Play, if that makes sense.
Right. Yeah, just simple corridors. You know
Yeah,
the objective. Like, every objective is very plainly put to you. So, like, the Let's Player isn't, like, confused or whatever. Like, the game is going to get finished.
yeah,
And then it's like, oh, pop scares, like, you're
and no,
always. Oh, sorry.
no task. Yeah, no, you were talking.
No, no, it's fine.
Yeah, like no task is more complex than 1 minute. Like nothing ever becomes more so complex you can't complete it in 1 minute. And like I said earlier, I don't want to call out the developers as hacks or anything,
Mhm.
because I really liked a lot of Outlast, the game so much, the game not so much, I should say. But yeah, I think it's interesting. I think it's interesting enough to have made a video on it.
Clearly, yeah. Um,
Well, duh.
oh, one sec. I kind of feel like horror is sort of, I don't know, whenever anyone talks about horror, it always feels like horror games kind of get sort of the Ludo narrative cohesion right. Like, it's always a horror game, like Silent Hill
Yeah,
or, like Resident Evil. Even with like crappy gameplay, you know what I mean? Like, not not clean, not polished gameplay. It's still like,
yeah,
oh, that's a part of the game.
absolutely, absolutely.
I find that interesting. I don't know if you have anything more to say on that.
No, I think you hit the nail right on the head there. I'd like to add that it might be that fans, players oftentimes, because horror games are really good. If they're good at one thing, if they should be good at one thing, it's kind of drawing the player in.
Mhm.
And if a good horror game can draw you in, you will probably forgive so much just garbage gameplay. And oftentimes, bad gameplay will infer, will strengthen a game.
Right.
So yeah.
Well, then, sort of piggybacking off of that, here's a question.
Hmm?
I asked, I don't know if you follow Writing on Games, Hamish Black at all, if you know who that is. But I asked him a question on his podcast, and I wanted to ask you the same question. What is your favorite game that you don't like to play? That you just think has really bad gameplay?
That's a really good question. Does it have to be because of bad gameplay?
You, like, you like it despite the bad gameplay, not like, oh, this is so, yeah, it's not like Sonic 06 or something, like, you genuinely love it, but it's like, I kind of have to suffer through playing it to get to the good stuff.
Uh, I'm kind of looking over my shelf at the moment. I don't really know. I don't really play games that aren't good. And good gameplay is it's very subjective.
Right.
I guess the best game I could say, best answer I could give would be SWAT 4.
Okay.
But that's not necessarily bad gameplay. That's just high risk, high reward. This is what this is what swatting is like. You die in one shot.
Okay.
It's sort of more simulator, so I can't wholeheartedly say that that's bad gameplay. You know what? like this was when I was a little boy. I had Rayman 3 on the Game Boy Advance, and that game does not play well. But I loved it so much.
Oh yeah.
I also had some piece of crap Spyro game on the. It was like Spyro 3. It probably wasn't Ripto's Revenge. I don't know. I can't say. It was every single Game Boy Advance game I had, because I had shovelware games, and I loved all of them so much. The Lego Island 2 game, you got.
Oh,
You played
yeah.
that?
Yes, I played.
That game. Like Pepper, you've got him.
Yes,
you've got
pepperoni.
Yeah, you've got what is he? The Brickster, the robber.
Yeah. Right.
That game is awful.
Yeah.
I love it so much. Like the theme, like I can't remember it, but it was so etched in my brain when I was a young boy. I gotta say, just my Game Boy Advance library. And there are a lot of good Game Boy Advance games. I didn't play any of them.
Right.
Not a single one.
That's like, so I had a PS2, and it's like, why did I get only the bad games? Or like, I never played Shadow of the Colossus until like 2012. But when I was a kid, I was like, yeah, I got Cabela's Hunting, and friggin'.
That's not even for kids.
No, it's not. I don't know why I played it. It was really depressing.
Yeah.
Like
I generally had good PS2 games, but I'm sorry, I'm cutting in.
No, you're fine.
Yeah, I played the Jack and Daxter games. I had played Ratchet and Clank. I had so many good PS2 games growing up. I had no good Game Boy game. I beat myself up for the longest time because I chose to buy, I think it was like a Tony Hawk game on the Game Boy Advance, and I could have bought Casper the Friendly Ghost, and I just I made the wrong choice.
Is Casper a good game? I don't even.
No, probably not. But I recognized him. I was in an airport, and it was bought for me to keep me quiet on the plane.
Oh wow!
And it was just like, it was on like, you know how you buy sunglasses and they're on kind of a rotating mirrored kind of pedestal. It was like on that.
Yeah.
It was stationed kind of outside the store. It was like they wanted to just get rid of it.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, and I was like, which one do I buy?
Oh no.
Skateboarding, yeah. And I played it, and it was bad.
Right.
Shock. And I was like, no, I made the wrong choice.
I mean, you made the wrong choice getting a Game Boy Advance, probably. I don't know.
That was given to me, so.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I forgot they gave it to you to shut up. To keep quiet on the plane. God
you idiot. That's them talking to me, not me talking to you.
Right,
you
right.
idiot.
Yeah.
You stay quiet on the plane. I've always kind of wanted to play that Casper the Friendly Ghost game, but alas, I think the magic moment is gone.
Do a video on it. Do a little, like, a short, not one of your actual retro videos, but, like a little side.
Hello everyone. Today we're going to be discussing Casper the Friendly Ghost with a Game Boy Advance.
Literally 7 people have played this game, and that's it. Let's see what it's like. I can't find anything on it.
Oh boy, it's horrible. It's horrible. Yeah, and that's kind of weird. The games I played were so shovelware, I can't find them anywhere. Like, I look at the Wikipedia article for Rayman, it doesn't list the game. Like, and I go like, yeah, Rayman had a Game Boy Advance, and Wikipedia is like, no, he actually didn't. Like, I played it. I know. What are you
sure?
talking about?
Are you sure you played this game?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I didn't.
Wait, do you still have it?
I have it. I have all of them.
Okay, so there's some physical evidence. So that's
yeah. I can when I take Wikipedia to court.
Yes. For not having all the information. Why don't you have every single bit of information, including Rayman 3 or whatever?
Rayman 3 or whatever.
That was the title. They just shipped it off. They didn't really care.
Yeah, that game had like 3D in it.
Sorry?
Yeah, I know. It was like he was sliding on some ice. He was skating somewhere, and he was like jumping over obstacles while he was kind of being dragged by some horses or something. And it was like 3D. Like the camera was pinned to his back.
Okay.
And he would go by himself, and you would move him. But the ground beneath him was 3D, and the rest of the game was just side-scrolling.
What?
Yeah, like the Game Boy had a 3D game, kind of. That's like, do people know about this?
You have to break the news to everyone.
I'm sorry, guys. The PlayStation or whatever. No, it was what was it? The SNES. It wasn't the SNES that brought in the 3D. It was Rayman 3 or whatever.
God damn it. Well, to get on track to something semi-relevant.
Yeah.
Are there any other video ideas you have floating around your head? Obviously, you have the retro game series that you're doing, but is there anything else? And is there anything that you've started and dropped?
Oh, I have a lot of things kind of on the plate. Right now I'm just kind of finishing off the retro analysis because I want to kind of be done with that, move on to something maybe a little different. Mm-hmm. Down the line, I kind of want to do a short series on D&D, kind of tabletop role-playing games.
Okay.
Yeah, I kind of want to, and then I might even expand just on various retro analyses, like, oh, Silent Hill, people kind of like that. I'll make Silent Hill 2 like everyone else in the world.
Right.
But then I'll make Silent Hill 3, which no one else has done.
Yeah, that's really weird. Like, I don't know why no one's ever covered that game.
It's really good. It's really good.
I haven't played it, but I want someone to tell me to play it.
I actually, funny story, I got that game when I was trying to buy, like I was on eBay and I was buying Silent Hill 2 on the PlayStation 2, and I was like, okay, I finally did it, because I'd been searching for a copy that didn't cost like $90.
Right.
And when I opened the mail, it was Silent Hill 3. I was like, come on.
Right.
What is this? But I played it, and it's really good. Mm-hmm. It kind of picks up the story after Silent Hill 1, so that's really good.
Interesting.
Yeah, Silent Hill 2, not so relevant to the great Silent Hill mythos, even though it's the game everyone likes.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, is there any ideas for videos that you've dropped? I don't know if that's happened yet.
I never kind of, like, there's one video I made, which is kind of, the future is niche, is what I wanted to call it.
Uh-huh.
Kind of like, oh, the future is nice. It doesn't really work. So even on the title, I would have dropped it. But I dropped that video because after I made The Legend of Zelda, I don't know what it was. I just had a massive headache for 3 months.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it was like, it wasn't pain. It was just that I can't concentrate on anything. I can get 10 minutes of work done, and then I just have to go to sleep. I'm so exhausted. It's gone now, thank God.
Yes.
And green tea and less coffee, because my doctor didn't want me drinking a lot of coffee.
That'll help.
I drank like 250 cups for the Morrowind video.
You have your coffee counter. I forgot. Oh, geez, that was actually harming you.
Yeah.
It wasn't so cute.
No. the struggles of a YouTube semi-celebrity-ish.
Right.
But yeah, I dropped that video essentially because I had made it. It's ready. I could launch it right now.
Oh, okay.
But it stopped being about kind of, here, look at what we as a medium can gain if we invest more in niche games. Like, that was the idea. But it kind of quickly just became like, this is what you idiots are buying, and Activision makes billions of dollars.
Right.
Yeah, it kind of became a weird sort of, is this a ramble? Is this a rant? What is this? Mm. And like, the structure was all over the place. So I decided, you know what, I'll just shelve this, and I'll maybe dissect it later if I find use for any of the notes I made.
Right.
That's kind of the most I ever went into a video that didn't get released. But every other video I kind of give up on. Like, it's just a lot of scripts. I kind of, oh, here's something I could use from this script.
Mm-hmm.
Here's something like, oh, I made this kind of interesting thing about this game. Maybe I'll bring it here. Currently, I'm working on an editorial which I don't think I'll release because I don't think I have, like, I don't think it's good enough yet.
Uh-huh.
I'll release it someday. It's kind of just Eastern games versus Western games. Like, what is there's a cultural difference. What is it, and how does it infer? What can we infer from games if we know it? It's basically just like currently it's written as expression in the East versus structure in the expression in the West versus structure in the East.
Right.
The West has chess. The East has Go or Baduk or whatever it's called. It has like 3 names. And it's sort of, well, here's a postmodern game in the West, which is Half-Life. Here's a postmodern game in the East, which is Metal Gear Solid. Where am I going with this? So, like, I don't know if, I don't know if that's going to get released.
Uh-huh.
I think I'll just jump immediately into the next retro analysis, which I don't know what it's going to be. I think I've been asked twice now to do an Age of Empire 2, and I will down the line. A great guy asked me to do it. He supports me on Patreon, I'm 90% sure, so I have to do it. Feel obligated. I really want to do it because right now I think of my channel kind of as a backlog I'm creating. People find it 5 years from now, that's kind of good.
Yeah.
Find a lot of videos they like. But yeah, definitely I'll do Age of Empire down the track, but what I have planned, nothing really concrete. Mm-hmm. Maybe a podcast before 2018, but it sort of relies on other people, so I wouldn't count on it.
What would the podcast be? Just sort of general thoughts, like about you, or
general thoughts about me. 7 days a week.
not about you, but like, I guess, like your thoughts on games and stuff, I imagine, just sort of general ramblings.
It kind of depends on who I do it with. I don't want to go on the offset of, we're going to make the Silent Hill podcast every week, and you're going to be here with me. I kind of want to go because I have a lot of friends that play a lot of diverse video games. Uh-huh. My idea was it's kind of niche, kind of indie, kind of just general. Here's a 5-minute segment, roughly reviewed. We kind of just discuss a game we like, here's something it did well, here's something it did well. Then there may be like a monthly segment where it's just like, okay, here's kind of the indie news roundup. Mm-hmm. But it kind of depends. If I'm going to have a rotating roster, then roster of co-hosts, which is likely what it would end up being right now, mm-hmm. then it would kind of be, it wouldn't be very set what it would be. It would be kind of just, it would just kind of be the chemistry. We decide what we're going to do that. But otherwise, yeah, I kind of want to, if it's a set guest, I kind of want niche games, indie games. I feel there is enough video game podcasts that are like the Breath of the Wild. It's amazing. I don't know, because they didn't, like, the Nintendo Switch sold out day one. So
exactly.
So I can't listen to this. But whereas a podcast that's, Beyond Good and Evil, remember that game? That's pretty good. Mm-hmm. You remember that? Remember when they promised us a sequel, which maybe we're getting on the Nintendo Switch?
Wait, really?
Maybe.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah. I think the Switch is really interesting. And Beyond Good and Evil too. But yeah, like with the podcast, then the only thing I know about if I were to do it would be that I have to make it in a way that it can promote the YouTube channel.
Right. Well, you could say, "Go to my YouTube channel" in the first
Yeah.
minute, and then whatever, get it the podcast out of the way, I guess.
Yeah, but that's kind of where roughly reviews or whatever the kind of review segment comes in, because I can take that 10-minute snippet and additionally make a video on that, put that on the channel. It's like, oh, here's just another series I do. It doesn't take a lot of time to edit it. Doesn't take a lot of time to do it because it's just very discussion.
Right.
So from there, it's sort of, yeah, and this is the podcast I do, in case you found the channel. And in the podcast, it's like, okay, this is me. Here's me on YouTube. I discuss this. Go find me there too. Or not, like, if you have a life. No.
We're in the video game analysis community, so none of us actually have lives.
That's such my heart. No, but if your question, I have a lot of things on my plate, but I'm kind of doing it just inch by inch.
Right.
Don't want to make any grand plans yet. Or do I?
Well, you said your podcast, you'd like to focus on like niche indie games. What are some most notable ones as of late that you want people to know about?
That's a good one. Niche and indie games, not just niche indie games. Have you played Lovers in a Dangerous Spacetime?
Is that the co-op game?
Yeah.
I've not played that yet, no.
It's really interesting. You pilot a ship with your friend, and like it's just as good as it sounds. Lovers in a Dangerous Spacetime. No, it's really good. It's kind of like you remember Battle Block Theater from a few years ago?
Yes, I played a decent amount of that.
Yeah, that game was really good.
Yeah.
That's kind of the Western Super Mario Maker, if you will. But Lovers in a Dangerous Spacetime is similar. It's really co-op driven, where you're running around the spaceship, both of you. Oh, we have 4 guns. We have one person to steer, one person to navigate. We have 12 separate positions. We have 2 crew members. So you're kind of juggling roles, and you're kind of trying to cooperate, but at the same time, I want to drive, and I want you to be on the gun. Yeah, well, I want to drive, and I want you to be on the shield. I think that's a really interesting game. Got a lot of good reviews. I don't think I'd necessarily talk a lot about recent games, because I feel like that game got a lot of exposure already. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I'd like to talk about games like Beyond Good and Evil. Like I said earlier, that's really good.
Right.
Games like... See, I'm put on the spot. I can't think of anything. As it is. Like SWAT 4, that's a good game. Not a lot of people played it. I think it's getting a remaster, which would be great.
What year did that come out?
I think it was 2004, 2003 maybe.
Okay.
In the golden age of the 6th generation.
Shoot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Do you have more?
No, I don't need any more. I think people get it. Just kind of niche, kind of indie. Maybe down the track.
Sorry. This is where the amateurishness comes in. I think it's a good time to segue into talking about your least favorite video that you made, fixing Sonic.
Fixing Sonic.
So, just kind of go through why it's your least favorite.
It doesn't really have a point. If you watch it, it's kind of like, okay, so I'm not going to tell you what's wrong with Sonic, but at the same time, I'm not really going to say how you could make it work. Here's my pitch for my own Sonic game.
Yeah.
It's kind of, and the problem there is I had a 20-minute video, and it was kind of like, yeah, it sort of works. What if I move this here, move this here? Okay, this is gonna need a complete rewrite, but I'm not gonna do a lot of editing, so I kind of have to rewrite it to use the same visuals.
Oh God.
Yeah, like it's an editing mess. It has no point.
Mhm.
I think you could supplement that entire video to say just um, if you want people to play, like if you want to make a good game based on speed, here's some ideas. Maybe speed can be, and I try to make this point visually but not audibly, so it's kind of just a jumpy kind of shot at Dante with Sonic's face or something. But that's an example of, I could have said, make speed a really interesting mechanic, make it really just very deep, very something you like, very rewarding to achieve.
Yeah.
Maybe building speed can be the interesting thing, whereas, oh, you're running, and you crash into an obstacle.
Right.
Well, that's what happens when you don't know the map, sucker. And like, I don't,
Sonic.
yeah, fucking Sonic. I said, I don't like Sonic. I don't have any love for him. At the same time, I don't think it's fair to call him out on my not liking what his games are.
I mean, that's kind of critique, though. You know, like, I don't know. I feel it's a very subjective thing, and you saying Sonic is bad is like a equally valuable perspective on Sonic that we really don't get a lot. Like, I don't see a lot of like even 2D Sonic hate, which kind of baffles me because I don't see what people see in it. So I don't know. I
Yeah.
need you. I need you to talk about it.
So see, I hate Sonic because Mega Man is better in every, like, and I want to stress this is subjective, and mine hating Sonic, or mine disliking him, I kind of nothing him actually. Mine nothing in Sonic, like, it should not affect your appreciation of the game
Hmm.
in no way. I like a lot of games which a lot of people don't like. So
I need an example of one later, but continue.
I'll, you give me ample time to think about one. But like, because if I'm critiquing a game, I kind of try to do it on, like, I try to consider, well, this is what, like, these are the merits the game try to accomplish. With Sonic, I find it really hard to do that because he was only created to make money. Like, there's no, and I don't want to crap on him because people do like him.
Hmm.
But you look at him, I don't feel artistry there. I don't feel like good game design, whatever that means. And my dislike is so great because I look at Mega Man, and that game I really like. I did a video on that. Uh, and Mega Man is just like, yeah, he's got, even like, he's blue. Like, why isn't he the antithesis to Mario? Because that's what they both are. Mega Man, I think, is a lot more interesting of an antithesis to Mario than Sonic. But I don't know. I don't feel it's fair necessarily to jump at Sonic. He has a lot of people that like him. So
I disagree. Not that people don't like him, because
people
they do,
don't like him.
but no, I just like, I don't know. Every video you make, you sort of, there's this implicit, like, not that you're like forcing people to think your way, but like they can either accept that view, and it's up to them whether they should change their view on it, given
Yeah.
the evidence, you know? So I don't think being like, oh, I don't want to change what the thing. It's like making a video, no matter what, is going to attempt to do that, you know?
Yeah. I think that's fair. I think that's fair.
So, I mean, this is all just to say, please shit all over Sonic. Just please. For me.
I'll do my best. So speed isn't meaningful, and I discussed it in the video. It's kind of like, okay, what if it's kind of like Mario 64? What if you collect, like, what if there's a constant timer ticking down, and how fast you complete each level is how many points you get to unlock more levels, to kind of encourage people to go fast.
Yeah.
And that's kind of, okay, here's an idea. I spent 10 minutes on it, and in the comments, I love negative comments because they're either very constructive, I find, or they're just nonsense.
Right. Yeah.
Like this one I got for it, and it's probably just I don't know if I was spamming it somewhere or I don't know, but it's kind of like, if you can't, like, you make movement is too complex in your game or in your pitch. If you can't get something as basic as movement down, like, it's a bad game. I disagree. I think movement should be very, very deep. I think it shouldn't, maybe not complex. I don't think a video is really good at, like, a video is not a good way to pitch a game. But yeah, it's kind of, well, what can you do with Sonic? You know, I don't like his friends. I don't like, I don't want to say furries. They're kind of the sad bunch of the 90s Saturday morning cartoons.
Yeah.
It's kind of just, what is, and Sonic actually has a really kick-ass cartoon apparently.
Like in the post-apocalyptic future or whatever.
Yeah, and I've heard he has a really good comic book, but that comic book was apparently from the 90s, so I don't believe that for a second.
The anime is actually pretty decent. It's on YouTube if you wanna.
The post-apocalypse one.
No, it was just like a movie. It was like a straight Japanese animated movie. It was pretty good. It was alright.
I won't watch it. I'm too set in my ways.
Oh, that's fine.
No, maybe I'll get to it. Maybe. I don't know. I thought, like, okay, here's an interesting way to look at Sonic. What can you tell me about Sonic from how he plays? Like, you can tell a lot about a lot of characters, like good characters in video games. You can generally tell a lot about by how you play as them. Sonic, in his characterization in game, is he's clumsy.
Yeah.
Like, really clumsy. He's always crashing into something. I don't know. I need a frame. I need to meditate on my hate.
No, yeah. I definitely, cuz like Sonic is just, he's got a big friggin' head. Like, he's so full of himself, and his momentum is like insane. He can't walk like 2 steps without, I don't know, just his game feel is so heavy. Like, when you're not already moving, it's like, could you fucking just walk? God damn it.
Yeah, why can't I walk? Yeah. Why do I have to run? It's a really unrewarding play style. I don't feel like I'm going fast. I feel like I'm going nowhere.
Yeah.
I really like his old design, actually. His chippy kind of design where it's blue, and I hate his design where he has color in his eyes. It's so, like, he has 2 general designs.
Yeah.
If the viewer, listener, if you're listening and you don't know what I'm talking about, just Google Sonic Generations. There's 2 Sonics. There's the kind of dark blue one. He wears a scarf these days. He has like green eyes or something. He looks disgusting. He looks like somebody just threw up after eating crayons in the 90s. But his old design, just, you know, he kind of looks like Mickey Mouse's Japanese cousin. Like, he's blue, where the old Mickey Mouse was just black and white. He's got the same kind of eyes. He's chippy. His body isn't weirdly stretched. Like, he doesn't have noodle arms or noodle legs. I don't know. He's not.
I just Googled it. I did not realize that he had color in his eyes. That's weird.
Yeah, it is really weird. I'm Googling it myself now.
But they're like very tiny eye pupils, I guess, you know. So it's easy to mask.
Yeah, I guess. But then you look at like the chippy design, and like maybe it's not perfect, but I think that's really good. Like I think it's pleasant to look at in a weird way.
I mean, I prefer it 2D over
Yeah.
3D, but
Yeah, I guess that's fair.
to give Sonic credit, I will say the new Sonic Mania looks friggin' gorgeous. I don't know if you've seen any of the trailers.
It like the one where they got the modder guy to do it.
Right.
It looks amazing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take my video down when that game launches.
Because they fixed it. They
Yeah.
actually fixed it.
Yeah,
Probably.
they did. I don't want to preemptively say anything, but yeah, that looks like it's fun. It looks like it's going to be like I want to play that. It looks good to play. There's the other game they're making, the one where he like I vaguely recall it. It's like there's a robot and there's destruction or something like the one that the modder isn't making, the one that Sega is making.
Uh-huh.
It looks like the worst game I've ever seen.
Is it the 3D one?
Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah. Duh.
Yeah. Yeah, duh.
But yeah, I was saying to my friend when I saw Sonic Mania, and he's a big Sonic fan. He grew up with Sega and stuff. And I'm like, this is going to be the best Sonic game that has ever come out. I
Oh.
guarantee that.
Hands down.
Yeah.
Bar is not high.
No, not at all. But
Do we want to crap a bit on Sonic's friends? I'm looking at a video here. Like
My-
they're all weird, kind of sexualized,
oh yeah.
anthropomorphic animals. But
What's
these
the bat's
games are for
name?
like
Rouge or
Rouge the
something?
Bat.
Yeah.
There's this weird crocodile guy. I don't know who he is.
Yeah, I don't know what game he comes from.
He's
Probably
got a
Dreamcast one.
Yeah, I don't know. There's this weird bunny girl. I don't know. It doesn't.
Like,
It's not
Sega-
for me.
Sega didn't realize what things they did to people's sexuality when when they made these characters. Like not that it's bad. I don't dislike furries or anything, but like I know when they saw this stuff, things happened in their brain, and it changed them irreparably.
What's your opinion on Shadow the Hedgehog?
Shadow, freaking. I like the
Like-
color scheme, I guess.
I had 2 Shadow games. People
Oh.
don't know there are 2. There's the
Wait.
Shadow the Hedgehog game,
Right.
which I especially asked for, and I regretted it immediately. And then there's kind of like a McDonald's Happy Meal, like he's sliding down a rail for the entire
Fucking
game.
way, dude. Really?
Yeah, that's a lot better than the Shadow the Hedgehog one. I love Shadow the Hedgehog. He is the worst. Like, it's kind of it's the Solid Snake to Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah.
But it's not really. It's Sonic the Hedgehog, but he's black.
Right. Wait, if Shadow is Solid Snake, who is Sonic?
He's just Sonic. He's
Otacon? I don't...
Otacon. I don't know. He's probably that liquid poop guy, Johnny, from Metal Gear Solid.
Oh, you're right. Oh, you're so right. Oh. God damn it.
I don't know. Do we really want to talk about Sonic the
No,
Hedgehog?
you made the video, all right? You tried
I'm
fixing
sorry.
him, and it
I
it
gave
backfired.
it the half-ass treatment.
Right. Yeah, it was kind of weird to watch. It was just like you were talking about how you designed a game, and it felt a little like, you know,
What is this video?
could just design it, I guess, or
Oh.
and it was weird because you were trying to like, yeah, not critique Sonic, but like by saying here's how you fix it, you're implicitly saying it's broken. And, you know, like whatever's the opposite of the fix, like, oh, that's what's wrong with Sonic, you know.
Yeah.
So it was weird. You were kind of tap dancing around it.
Yeah, and you can't argue with the fans. And there are a lot of grown-ups and a lot of talented game designers that like Sonic. And
Yeah.
like I totally get that. There are a lot of people that have a lot of respect for those games. And like I get that. A lot of people I respect like Sonic. The people who defend Sonic are not those people. I'll say that. The people that defend Sonic like aggressively, because no, he's not. He blah 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 blah. Like it's 12-year-olds, and what am I gonna say?
Right. Yeah, their brothers and sisters let them play, I don't know, Sonic Adventure 2, and they like the Chow Garden, and they thought it was cute, and it was probably easy to play. So it's like, yeah, he's awesome.
I don't believe it was easy to play. Those games play horribly.
Well, yeah, I guess you're right.
Like, who are the games for? Who's buying them?
People without sensory experience. Like they can't feel or see.
You know what? Let's move away from Sonic.
This video is gonna go on like a Sonic Reddit. They just cut out this part.
Yeah.
These two jerks.
They'll just be static for 30 minutes.
Oh, they're gonna dox us. We're done. Our lives are over.
Oh yeah, well, you gotta be careful because Sega is gonna come gunning you down.
Sega. They released Sonic 06. They have no shame. They have no shame.
Yeah, Sega. They talk about a company that had the market and just crapped the bed. They didn't.
Yeah.
They didn't.
Yeah, someone's got to make a video about that. Like, because I don't know, like what happened with the Dreamcast? Like, obviously it didn't sell well, but like, what was the reasoning behind it? Was it just the competition? Was it just the PlayStation, or was there more to it?
I think the PlayStation played a big part. It was probably that was the one. The Dreamcast had all those add-ons, wasn't it?
What do you mean add-ons?
Like they had a bunch of hardware, like console add-ons. You click them in. I recall hearing about this.
The Sega, duh.
The Sega Saturn.
Was it the Sega Saturn?
Because that was. I don't want to say.
Dreamcast was their last one.
Yeah.
I don't know if that had any like peripherals because that was just a CD drive, whereas like the Genesis / Mega Drive, that had like you had the Sega CD that you'd plug in to the cartridge area or whatever, and like had a bunch of crap, and it's like how are you supposed to like have a market with that? How are you supposed to sell games for that?
Yeah,
but we never.
It's really funny if you look at kind of the history of video games, the generations. There's always one console which is being like one platform, I should say, not console. There's always one platform that's being run by an absolute lunatic. And Nintendo used to be that lunatic. Like they had a guy, I can't remember. He was the guy who hired Miyamoto. Okay. And he was like a hard ass. He was a lunatic, this guy. He was the guy, like they had 90% of the console market.
Right.
And that was because of, like, he went on just, no, like, you're not releasing, if you want to release a game, you have to release it on Nintendo. And if you want to release your game on Nintendo, then guess what? You need to buy the cartridges from us, and then you can sell them to the market.
Right.
Like, he was that guy. He just had a monopoly on the market. I think he passed away around the PlayStation time, and I think that's kind of why Nintendo survived, because PlayStation then had Kaz Hirai and Ken Kutaragi, who were both these just Ken Kutaragi definitely more so. Wait, Ken Kutaragi. I'm getting my names mixed up here. Kutaragi, not Katana. Yeah, but they were like, Ken Kutaragi. Like, we are Sony, and Sony, they ran the world in those days. Mm-hmm. We're Sony. We're going into the console market because fuck you, Nintendo, for breaking the deal with us. We'll do it anyway. It's actually really interesting that I'm from Iceland, and there was an Icelander, like he was one of the top 3 guys behind the PlayStation, and there he just vanished. Nobody talks about him.
Oh, is he okay?
I think he's a CEO at Warner Brothers.
Oh, okay.
It's really interesting. But like PlayStation then became those lunatics, and they did really well. PlayStation 1 did really well. PlayStation 2 did really well.
Yeah.
PlayStation
really
3. Yeah. Well. PlayStation 3, like that was just, what are you doing? What? I really like the PlayStation 3. I like what it became.
Yeah.
But like Kaz Hirai, I think that was definitely Kaz Hirai, who was just like, oh yeah, we'll launch it a year after Xbox. Xbox is just they're a bunch of nerds, and people will buy whatever we sell them.
Right.
Which was probably true in those days. The PSP sold a lot, even though it wasn't, in retrospect, very good, I think. But yeah, but Nintendo made all the money, as opposed to the Xbox and the PlayStation, like Xbox 360, PlayStation 3. That was Nintendo. The Nintendo Wii made all the money.
Right.
Because, and who would have known? You market your games to a wide demographic, and you make a lot of money. And Xbox finally got that lunatic with the Xbox One launch. I don't remember. I don't know if you remember that.
Oh god,
that was
awful.
That was a disaster.
Right.
Like
I don't know. People. I mean, I don't talk to people about the Xbox One because who cares about the Xbox One? But
I think what Phil Spencer, like, I'm not a big Xbox fan. Yeah. I don't like a lot of evolution. I don't like a lot of things they've done to the medium. Mm-hmm. I think Phil Spencer and what his team is doing with the Xbox is pretty interesting. The Xbox itself, not so much. But right. You were saying? The Xbox One, you don't talk about people with it, about it?
Like, no one talks about it, but like the controversy before it released was so fucking huge. And now it's just like, oh, wait, what? Like, it's going to be always online and not be backwards compatible? And
like, is the CIA gonna watch me when I play Kinect?
Oh yeah, I forgot. Oh my god.
Yeah, and you have to have Kinect on.
Right. God, that was a weird time.
I'm looking forward to the next generation because
I just bought them. No,
like five or so years down the line then.
Yeah.
Because Sony can't pull the non-backwards compatibility crap again because Xbox are doing it now.
Right.
Like we're finally there.
They've got like PlayStation Now, which is like a shittier version of backwards compatibility, but it's something. Like, oh, if you pay, you can stream them, and maybe
it's kind of like the version which the the sales superior platform might implement.
Yeah.
Nintendo Switch, I think, is really interesting. It's kind of a cool kind of, oh, hey, you can have more than one kind of console. Mm-hmm. Just great. More of that.
Right. Yeah. Like the handheld hybrid.
Yeah.
Though it didn't have a great launch and its games taste like crap. So what the fuck were they doing? That just confuses me. Like, people must have been putting cartridges in their mouth for a long time. Did you put Game Boy Advance games in your mouth? Did you suck on those?
I wanted to play those.
Come on. Don't lie.
No. That's why.
Like, someone had to taste it to be like, oh, this is bad. Like, there was the first person. Who fucking did that?
I don't know. You know what I think is really interesting about the Nintendo Switch, which I haven't seen anyone talk about? Maybe it has been talked about to death and I just haven't found it. It can preserve the entire Nintendo library. Because the Joy-Cons it uses, you can technically supplement those with V motion control. And since the screen, you could sell 3D screens and like if it has, I don't know if it has touchscreen, you can save every single console. Like you can, like Wii Motion from the Wii, it has it could have 3D like the 3DS,
Right.
It could have double screen because you have one you're holding and one like mounted your TV, and it could be the Wii U as well. That's really interesting. And
Here's the thing, though. Will they do
yeah,
that?
Nintendo famously like to resell their games, so
That's
maybe
true.
if it sells well, they might.
I just feel like they like to not make good decisions, though. So, yeah.
Well, they have a lot of money, so
Do they? Like, you can only make so many losses, like the Wii U did. I mean, I don't know how the
they
Switch is gonna do, but
Nintendo is has more market value than Sony.
really,
Yeah,
huh?
they made a lot of money on the Wii. Like they have $10 billion or something like that just in reserve,
Right.
which they aren't using.
They have like the vault, and it just says "Wii money" on top of it. They just pull shit out from that sometimes.
Yeah. And like with the Switch, apparently they got some great deal with what was it, AMD or something?
Oh,
Yeah, where they don't like the upfront investment from Nintendo with the Switch. It isn't as high as you might think. I don't know if it was AMD, but yeah, it's really interesting because Nintendo could technically be like they could fail for 10 more generations. They only need to succeed that one more time, and they'll
10 more. Oh my god. Well, to get away from the console market a bit, I want to go back and ask you, what unpopular games do you, not unpopular, but unrespected games do you like? You know, these underrated games, probably.
yeah, ones I spoke about earlier. See, again, I have to pull up my library. Well, Steam is updating, so I can't pull the so my kind of easy mode is off. There's this Flash strategy game. It's online. It's called Dice Wars. Have you played it?
I have not.
Okay, you've never heard of it either, probably.
Correct.
I think like I'm the only one who likes it. You have a lot of dice and you're conquering land, and when you get more land, you get more dice. Like that's a game no one talks about. It's not like amazing, but I've lost a lot of hours into that. It's really good. Um,
Is it at all like the game Risk?
no, it's more Sid Meier.
Hmm.
Like yeah, it's interesting. I'll give him that. I'm kind of looking over my games here. Jack 3.
Okay.
That's a game I really like. It might be my favorite game actually. That game gets a lot of crap, which maybe it's deserved, maybe not. But I really like that game.
Why is that? I mean, you're saying it might be your favorite game. That, you know, there's got to be some
Yeah.
good reasons.
Well, probably just because I played it a bunch, but it has. I don't know. It's a good implement. Like it is a good evolution from Jack 2. Jack 2 gets a lot of love, which I don't get. I think Jack 2 is the worst of the original 3 Jack games.
Uh-huh.
But no, Jack 3. I don't know. I feel you look at the Jack games, Jack and Daxter games. They are constantly just, oh, this is what worked last time. Well, you know, that's cool, but we're not doing that again. Like the first one it's Legend of Zelda meets Crash Bandicoot. That's Jack and Daxter, the Precursor's Legacy. The first one, that's what that is.
Uh-huh.
Then Grand Theft Auto 3 came out and made all the money, so it's
Right.
kind of, oh, Jack 2 is Grand Theft Auto now. Oh, that's cool. And then Jack 3 comes along, and it's kind of this, it's kind of Mad Max, I guess. And I don't know, it's really good. It has interesting very, very simplistic. You know, you have light Jack, you have dark Jack, but that's kind of interesting more so than not having any. Is it interesting in kind of morality, I guess?
Uh-huh.
Because it's not a role-playing game by any stretch, but you can kind of role-play in it.
Depending on, like, if you choose to use his dark powers or light powers and stuff, and, like...
Yeah, it's an absolutely arbitrary choice. It doesn't affect anything, but...
Right.
I think it has... It's kind of... I don't know why I like it. The world is really interesting. You have, like, dark eco and all that stuff. There's a lot of prophecy interwoven in it. It's sort of like... it's kind of Star Wars meets Mad Max meets The Legend of Zelda. And it's just... It's a lot of gameplay variety.
Yeah.
But it all works. Like, as opposed to, say, an Uncharted 4 where you're either walking or you're shooting someone, and or maybe you're parkouring, and there are only these kind of 3 to 4 things you are ever doing. The game doesn't ask that much of you. Jak 3, I think, is really not like that. I think it's more kind of variety.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's a satisfactory answer.
I mean, it doesn't sound like, yo, this is my favorite game. You're just kind of, you're being very gentle about it, I guess.
Yeah, because I know a lot of people don't like it.
Okay. So you don't
Which,
gush
yeah, I
too
don't.
hard.
Yeah, and I don't like people that don't like it. Like I said with Sonic, it's fine. You don't have to, and my enjoyment shouldn't encroach on your hatred.
Please hate all you want. Go ahead.
But yeah, I think it's a cool kind of series. I think it's probably Amy Hennig's best game.
Is
I think
that Naughty Dog writer?
Yeah, she also worked somewhat on Uncharted.
Yeah.
Before she got the boot, and now she's working on Star Wars.
Like the movies?
No, I think she's working on the Visceral, like the Dead Space studio. I think they're making a game she's directing for them.
It's supposed to be like 1313 or something, but that got canned, and now they're still making something.
Yes. I really like Star Wars, so I'm kind of in the loop with that.
Mm-hmm.
I am 99% sure 1313 got canned.
Yeah.
Like, that was a Boba Fett game. They were going to release. They were going to reveal that the Boba Fett kit from the movies, the get him dead.
Yeah.
They were going to reveal that. They were going to reveal him, and the character you played as would kill him and take the Boba Fett name, so that the canonical Boba Fett in the later movies could still have a really mysterious past.
But you're making a game about him, so we wouldn't have a mysterious past.
Yeah, like it wouldn't. No, it'd be kind of, where did he come from? It's just this kind of weird bounty hunter with this kind of sense of morality and la di da di da. I think they just wanted to make like a Boba Fett, maybe a Boba Fett trilogy of games or something.
Okay.
And they kind of just wanted to wipe the slate clean with the character. But what happened then is George Lucas sells Star Wars. Disney picks it up. They hire a good director in Josh Trank, famous for Fantastic Four, which is apparently the worst. But I don't.
Wait, which one? Which Fantastic Four?
The latest one.
That was not a good movie.
No, but I say he's a good director. I think he's a really good filmmaker, because I like Chronicle, Fantastic Four, the Fant Four Stick, or what people are calling it. Yeah. That is studio like interference, because they had designed the movie together. This was what we're gonna do. Okay, now let's go shoot it. Oh, hold on, Josh Trank. We're just making these final changes, and we're removing all these here scenes. We're removing this. Oh, you know that scene where you want the characters to go into the negative zone and see a dead Galactus float by? Yeah, we're not doing that. And that's just, oh, you forced me, you're forcing me into making a movie I have absolutely no passion for.
Yeah.
So I kind of think he got a bad deal. I don't think he handled it really well necessarily, but it's don't don't hire a talented filmmaker if you're gonna crap on him. Like,
Right. Just hire some rando. Yeah.
hire Brett Ratner. He'll make whatever you want.
Right.
Yeah, but it's kind of, you don't get a Nicolas Winding Refn to do your fourth Spider-Man reboot.
Like, that'd be sick.
That would be.
Oh, that'd
He
be
wanted to make the Wonder Woman movie.
Wait, really?
Yeah,
What would that even?
he wanted the redhead with the big bosom. She's a really talented actress. She was in Mad Men. She was in Drive, The Neon Demon.
Oh fuck! Wait, she was in Drive.
Yeah, she was the porn star. Drive is so good. I was just recently introduced to Nicolas Winding Refn.
Yeah.
He is so good.
I need to watch Drive. Like that first 5-minute segment is the most amazing shit I've ever seen.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah.
See, I'm gonna find out what her name is.
Yes.
Christina Hendricks. He wanted her to play Wonder Woman, and apparently the Wonder Woman movie they're making, it's apparently very bad.
Has it come out?
No,
Oh, okay.
it's just like they're hiring apparently a bunch of editors to try and make it coherent.
Oh, no, that's a great sign.
That is a great sign. But Nicolas Winding Refn has then gone on to say, "Yeah, I want to direct a Batgirl movie."
Oh, okay.
Yeah, let him do that.
Right. I just imagine Wonder Woman like lassoing someone's penis off or something, like, just really messed up.
Oh, that'd be horrible.
But it'd be in his tastes, so
It'd be in the little 16-year-old girl he speaks of that lives in every man.
Oh my god, I've not read any of his interviews, but
He's Danish. The Danes are silly. Like the women, like the girls in Denmark, like they're all really like they bicycle everywhere, and the country is flat. Like it is flat everywhere. There is no hill in the entire country, so they can just bicycle everywhere. And everyone, like the girls, are all in really good shape. The guys are all just these kind of weird, kind of hick farmers with these weird kind of. I'm alienating the Danish.
all my Danish viewers.
My Danes. I'm slowly working through the entire demographic. First Sonic, the Danes. I'll move on to, I don't know, what's topical? Donald Trump? No, let's not.
Yeah, no.
Let's not get political. But Nicolas Winding Refn, you watch the interviews, and like he's kind of a classy Dane, but he's still a very silly Dane.
He made freaking. I haven't seen the Neon Demon, but it just looks weird. Pretty sure there's some necrophilia in there. Spoilers. Sorry.
Yeah, I've seen it. It's the best movie of 2016.
Yeah.
That or Nice Guys, probably the Neon Demon. It's more up my alley.
I've not seen like any 2016 movie, and I'm really depressed. I need to get on that.
You didn't miss much. But yeah, just on this, I kind of shout out to my friend who's watching, who introduced me to Drive. He would beat me. He would give me the business if I didn't give him a shout out. So I'm giving him a shout out. 2 hours in, here's your shout out.
Right.
Get lost.
He waited. He was like, I mean, why would we even talk about Nicolas Winding Refn? But
yeah,
it's
all in the script. It's all in the script.
Yeah, we're reading off script, people. I don't know if you realize that. But
that's why it's been such a flawless and very focused interview here.
Yeah, definitely. I've not had long stretches of pauses and ums. It's all very coherent.
I feel like I've had a few of those. But let's get back to video games, right?
Oh, we like those? Right. Sorry.
Yeah.
But yeah, is there any other games you like that are underrated or even hated?
Yeah, definitely. None that I can kind of think of.
Good.
We're getting very tired here, folks.
I'm not tired. It's 3:57 in the afternoon here. Or sorry, what is that? 15:58 right now. So,
We're making good time. We're making good time.
yeah.
So yeah, Minecraft gets a lot of hate, but like nobody has to defend Minecraft. Minecraft is not a game that like needs me to stand up and go, no, it's really good. It is good.
Right.
I don't play it that much. I because I already did.
Yeah.
You can't play it that often, I don't think.
I mean,
But yeah,
I feel like it's everything surrounding Minecraft that people don't like. Like it's
yeah, I
the
think that's
let's
fair.
plays and the merchandising and stuff like that. And I guess the additions of like the Ender Dragon or whatever. But
Yeah,
like
you know, I have like 6 separate Let's Plays on Minecraft, all privated on my channel, and they are. I will never release them. Never, ever, ever.
please.
I might do it if it ever has like historical value.
Right, yeah.
Before Aesir, the Prime Minister of Iceland, was shot,
Before he was like on the
he was in the
news
middle.
reel.
He was in the middle of editing his government analysis video.
Government analysis. When he started on YouTube, he actually made Let's Plays of the game Minecraft. And it shows some of it on like friggin' public news.
And here's like a brief clip, like, okay, we're gonna break it down. We're gonna make a tree, everybody. Come on, come on, everybody.
What kind of Let's Plays were they, by the way? Were they like supposed
Horrible.
to be sort of informative or just like jokey?
They were nothing. I think that's the best way to put it.
Uh-huh.
Like, whatever little enthusiasm I could muster for playing a game for 1 hour and talking to myself. Yep, that's it. I'll do that for 1 hour.
Oh my god, those sound beautiful.
Oh.
Yeah, please send me a little clip.
I definitely will.
Thank you.
I'll send you the absolute cringiest one.
Yeah.
It has to do. Yeah, I know the one, and I'll send that one to you. And the listener right now is just like, I don't care about any of this. What? On the opposite side of the question you asked, like games I like, others don't.
Yeah.
Games I dislike, which others like.
Yeah. Besides Sonic, obviously.
Yeah, besides Sonic, because I think that's fair. I think it's like I can't just kind of throw my shit out there and not open myself up for punches. I don't like Half-Life.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't think. I think the first one, because it's like, Half-Life 1, it's a thinking man's shooters. It's the smart man's Doom. That was System Shock. It came like 5 years before, and like, but Half-Life has a lot of interesting insights into like video games, and it's a lot of postmodern parallels. Yeah, like Half-Life uses those kind of fourth wall, kind of nuts. Look at this is a game. It uses that to kind of mock the player. You want to know a good game that does that? Metal Gear Solid. Like that's melancholy. Like Half-Life is like, you start on a rail and you never get off. Dun dun dun. But Metal Gear Solid is like, Snake, is somebody control? Like, am I in control of myself, or is the player controlling me? What does that mean? Gene therapy? Whoa, what? Do I enjoy killing people? Like, I don't know. I think like Valve is like kind of Minecraft. You don't need to defend Valve. And Half-Life 2. Nobody needs to jump down my throat to defend Half-Life. Like it's bigger than me, and it doesn't need protection.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't think it really deserves. I think the greatest credit I could give it is that not so much deserving the credit it got, or I don't think it really implemented a lot in the video game medium. I think it brought a lot of things together and kind of haphazardly try to make it work.
Mm-hmm.
I'll take that back on Half-Life. I really like Half-Life: The Lost Coast, which is like a 30-minute kind of side mission.
Right.
I really like that.
What?
Nothing else.
What? Why?
Because you get,
Like the
I
tech
don't.
demo.
Yeah, I like the tech demo. I don't know.
I guess it's short and sweet and to the point, maybe, kind of.
Yeah, I guess. I think that's a better use of the game than the actual game.
Mm-hmm.
Because it takes the best elements of the game, kind of like, oh, we really liked how hills were played in Half-Life 1. Let's re-implement that. And you're kind of fighting on the side of a mountain.
Right.
So, yeah. Game, like, your move, Gabe Newell. I'm looking at you, Valve.
Make a good Half-Life, I guess.
I'm calling you out.
I don't know if you read anything on about, like, someone talked to PC Gamer about Half-Life 3, and they were saying, like, they're trying to make Half-Life 3, like, an RTS at one point, and, like, doing really weird-ass, like, just, it's not Half-Life. Like, they're trying to make it Half-Life, and that company is so messed up right now.
Yeah.
But we don't have to get into that.
No, we really don't.
But it's interesting that I've never heard Half-Life called a postmodern game. And the way you describe, like, it's always on rails, like how you start and end on the tram, like I never put that together. That's pretty interesting.
Yeah, and the G-Man, of course, is Valve in a lot of ways. Like, he decides when you can and can't participate anymore.
Right.
Like, oh, yeah, I'll let you fight this final boss if you want. You won't win.
Right.
And that's the game. I think it's interesting. I just don't think they did a lot with it. People are going like, I want Half-Life 3. Like, why? Like, they already made it. It's called Half-Life 1 and Half-Life 2.
But I mean, I don't know, at least people probably want the catharsis of that plot ending rather than
I guess
it does anything to the medium. I don't think anyone's expecting that at this point. It's just,
I think it would be unfair to expect that at this point. Like, you can't, like, it's what, 10 years? You can't expect
10
that.
10 years, and they're more focused on just making $12 trillion every day from Steam and hat sales. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
I think people would buy hats for Half-Life 3. Are you kidding me?
That would be, oh my God, the controversy.
Do you think, and let's kind of just, if we want to quickly segue into Half-Life 3 speculation.
Sure.
Portal guns in Half-Life 3.
Right.
Yes or no?
It feels natural. Like,
I
set up
like
the
Portal.
aperture stuff. So that's sort of what I mean. At least, like, like plot-wise. But you were going to say?
Yeah, I think Portal is good.
Yeah.
So you don't, like, I'm covered on those bases.
Good. You like the darling. I feel like everyone sort of loves Portal, unless you have very bad spatial reasoning. But but I feel like it'd be interesting to incorporate portals and shooting, sort of, the actual combat. But they clearly don't have their priorities set on that. So
yeah, probably not a big deal then.
Here's a question. Why only 10 retro game analysis? Like, it's weird that you're sort of putting a limit on that when it's not like you're doing them in order. And, like, it just feels like we should talk about all games of all, eras and whatever. So it's weird.
Yeah.
That,
Well, it kind of came about because I knew I wanted to, because I decided to make the series because I didn't play a lot of games in 2016.
Mm-hmm.
And 2015, I didn't play a lot of games either, a lot of new games. So I thought, well, I can use this to kind of as an excuse to kind of force myself to get really into old games.
Yeah.
But like, I don't want to be the retro analyst. So I kind of go, okay, I want to do 10, and like, I'll cover System Shock 2 one day. I'll cover, I'll go into maybe some other Zelda game, maybe even in the retro analysis, but I just didn't want to saddle myself with the title of, oh, he's the retro analyst.
Right. But I mean, you've sort of like, I mean, you made Amnesia Outlast. You've made Shovel Knight, which was, I guess, a retro analysis, but sort of a weird
That was
meta.
yeah, that was yeah, that was kind of a lead-in because I knew, okay, I want to discuss Silent Hill, but I don't want to do it half-assed, and my Resident Evil 7 video wasn't very good. I need practice in kind of essay structure.
Yeah.
Shovel Knight, bam.
And that's a really good script.
You think?
Yeah, I really like your insights into Shovel Knight. Like, no one's really talked about it being this sort of like the narrative about like holding on to nostalgia in the past is reflected mechanically and narratively. Like, no one said that. I don't think. I haven't seen it, So
yeah, I kind of completely forget the scripts as soon as I launch them. Launch the videos.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's weird, but I tweeted the Shovel Knight video out to what was it, Yacht Club Games?
Okay, yeah.
And they gave it a lot of love there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's kind of a tip to all kind of YouTubers, YouTube analyzers. Like, definitely reach out to developers. You look at like my System Shock analysis.
Yeah.
Half, if not, like, I'll say easily 80% of the views I got on that was because I contacted the kind of two branches of the old Looking Glass studio, the Other Side and NetherRealm Studios.
Okay.
I just contacted, like, I made a thing about your thing, and they just tweeted it out like, hey, we really like this. And like, I don't want to pretend that Warren Spector or anyone actually watched it. Like, maybe someone skimmed it, but the thing is, it's really good for exposure because on their end, it's essentially free press.
Yeah.
Well,
especially
it's
since
kind
they're
of
making System Shock 1 again. So,
yeah.
Like, yeah.
They're switching from Unity to Unreal.
Yeah, I saw that.
That's gonna be interesting. But yeah, so don't be afraid to reach out to a lot of developers because, like, even outside of just promoting yourself, developers, they really like seeing this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I had like a short kind of discussion with Yacht Club, like, oh, hey, why wasn't the coin, like, why wouldn't Treasure Knight chase it? And they were like, yeah, I think somebody actually discussed that when we were making it. Like, whether or not anyone did, I don't know, but I think it's also just fun. It's kind of fun, just like, oh, hey, be like, somebody actually cares. That's interesting.
Right. Someone that you look up, they made the game that you like.
Yeah, and like, especially like Yacht Club Games, definitely. And I don't want to say with System Shocks more so, but that was like the Looking Glass studio team. Like, those guys are legends. They're like Team Silent.
Right.
Like, that is like, whoa, what? They like this? That's kind of big.
Yeah. I'm kind of surprised looking at your videos right now that the System Shock 1 has the most views, but now that you say that the Looking Glass guys shared it, like, now that makes more sense. Not that, like, your videos...
I actually have a confession. You look at Silent Hill and System Shock.
Yeah.
I've been dabbling in promoting the videos.
Okay.
I did it with, I'm not like ashamed of it or anything.
Yeah.
They had like, I think they both had at least 1,000 before I started. I decided to check it out, just kind of, well, what's the view retention if I promote it, and would it be worth it?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's not nearly as good as, reaching out to people directly. But, I just wanted to dabble in it.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I kind of I ruined the mystique.
How do you promote? Like, what do you do specifically?
I just pay for YouTube to advertise them.
Oh, oh shit. So what does that do? Just like put it in people's recommended bars and stuff?
Yeah, YouTube has. I don't know really how the filtering system there works. It's really, and they change it all the time. So I couldn't, like, maybe by the time you upload this, it would have changed. But
Uh-huh.
the kinds of videos you'll watch will generally mark you. Like, if you watch a lot of gaming videos, guess what? You're a gamer. They're gonna kind of direct gaming related videos to you.
Yeah.
They probably go more in depth, but with promotion, it's just like, well, what demographic do you want to promote it to? Big mistake some people make is, oh, I want to promote it to everyone.
No.
Don't do that.
Specialize,
What?
yeah.
Yeah, look at your analytics page. My analytics page is generally 20 to 40-year-old males, which is like, 40-year-olds. They've lived a life I haven't.
It's the system shock.
Yeah, right. That's fair. But it's kind of like, oh, and where do you want to promote it? I want to promote it everywhere. No, don't do that. Promote it in the United States, England, Germany for me. I'm building up a fan base in both Saudi Arabia and Australia, which is
Australia? I can see that.
yeah,
Saudi Arabia.
yeah. It's kind of like, yeah. Can I get some oil?
Yeah, they'll email you some. Or no, sorry, Google Drive, because it won't fit in the file.
Oh yeah, that's fair.
Right.
You know, I think I could probably get Nicolas Winding Refn on the show. I know he really likes Kojima.
Yeah,
bet
yeah.
I bet if I pursued it, I could probably get him.
Do it.
I don't know.
I mean, hopefully he plays a lot of games, or at least you could just talk about Metal Gear Solid, probably.
Hey, Nicolas, spelar du, because I speak a bit of Danish,
Okay.
spelar du Metal Gear Solid? Yeah. Oh shit, I don't know anything. I don't know more Danish. And also, the people that are watching this don't really know Danish, so
Correct. I mean, if you're getting Saudi Arabian people, who knows what this podcast could get?
yes, they could send me oil money and I could pay him.
God.
I could get Ryan Gosling.
No, he's pretty busy. Pretty busy right now.
Yeah,
Making every
making
movie.
Blade Runner.
Oh, and Blade Runner and freaking
Every movie and Blade Runner.
yeah, a Terrence Malick movie.
What?
Hmm?
A Terrence Malick movie.
Yeah,
That's cool.
yeah. It's called Song to Song. It's gonna be like part like South by Southwest documentary / movie. And like Ryan Gosling's in it. Freaking Rooney Mara.
Of Fantastic Four fame.
Wait, what?
I think so.
In the new one?
I think so.
No, Rooney
Wait.
Mara was not the Mrs.
No, probably not. Probably not.
Yeah, no. She was in Girl with the Dragon Tattoo.
Yeah. Oh no. Then that's Prometheus girl, right? Nope. Probably.
I haven't
I'm
seen
really bad at
Prometheus.
this. It has a lot of interesting ideas.
Prometheus?
Yeah, that is a movie crippled by a lousy script.
Oh, yeah.
But everything else is amazing.
I need to watch it. I have yet
Yeah,
to see it. And I've heard both good and bad things about it. So I feel like I can go in pretty neutral.
yeah, it's a bad movie. It has good ideas. You don't need to watch it. You could probably just watch the new Alien movie that's coming out, because it seems like it's just, if you've read, like, they've released what the original Prometheus was supposed to be about before it got a lot of rewrites. That's what this Alien movie is. They're just making the Prometheus movie they wanted and calling it Alien Isolation, Alien Covenant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll still give Prometheus a shot. My friend and I are just going through the series, so
Oh,
we're gonna have to get there anyway. But
it's not the worst one. Not the worst in the series by far.
what would that be to you?
Probably all the other ones except Alien 1 and Alien 2.
Right.
Are you counting the Alien versus Predator movies?
No, those are weird bastard children. I don't. But you say that you're writing multiple scripts simultaneously. How do you juggle that?
I try to only have one like main script going at a time, but say I write myself into a corner. Oh, this section, like I write myself into a corner and I realize, okay, I have to remove this section. I just need to kind of restructure this. But this sentence I had to remove. It might work in the script later, so I'll just kind of save it. And oftentimes it'll just be like, oh hey, here's something I never thought about Resident Evil 4. And like here's the difference between Resident Evil 4 and The Last of Us, and how Ashley in Resident Evil 4 is a better represented character than Ellie is. Like here's an interesting way to frame that discussion.
Yeah.
I'll just note that down in a script and kind of maybe get to it later.
Right.
That's how I made Star Wars as a game, which is a video. It starts out kind of edited, and then I just gave up on editing. It's just kind of it's just kind of footage of Star Wars Battlefront.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that an actual idea you have, Ashley and Ellie?
Yeah.
Dude,
that's
make that video, damn it. That's interesting. Like Oh, sorry.
I can see the script. I can kind of see what the point was. Yeah, okay. Ellie is kind of a movie character. Like it's been said like enough. Last of Us, it's a movie. It's not really a game because you can kind of like the game doesn't really inform the characters, or it kind of informs the world through violence and that.
Yeah.
I think The Last of Us is doing great things for video games because people that don't care about video games suddenly are discussing them as more than just toys.
Right.
And I respect Naughty Dog a lot. And I have a lot of respect for that game. I don't think it's that good myself, but like I can't wholeheartedly say it's a bad game.
Right.
But Ellie, I think, is because people go like, that's an empowered female character in a video game, and that's so nice. I think she is kind of a Mary Sue in a lot of ways. People that's the worst argument you can make about a character, because every character is a Mary Sue if you look at him like a Mary Sue. But like she starts out well, she has an arc in the game. It's important. She has like an arc as a character. She changes in the course of the year that the game takes place in. But she doesn't change mechanically. You don't really rely on her, and she doesn't really she's not really a mechanic. You kind of have to save her once in a while, and she may give you some ammo or something like health kit, but that's not, you can safely just kind of put your thumb over her when you're playing the game, and it plays exactly the same. Whereas Resident Evil 4, like her or hate her, you can't ignore Ashley. Like, right. You have to protect her, and people go like, oh, that's not a well-written character. Nobody in that game is a well-written character. It's just it's a campy goofiness.
Yeah. And
that's really good. But with Ellie, I feel she might have actually kind of benefited from starting out playing more like Ashley, because Joel first meets her and he's like, oh, I have to escort her through the... That's my Troy Baker impression. He's like, I have to... he has to escort her through to the Fireflies.
Yeah.
And he's kind of visibly frustrated. He kind of doesn't want to do it. And that isn't represented to the player. That's just
Right.
in the cutscenes. What it like, and that's because she's kind of like, the argument is, well, she's an empowered character. She doesn't need him to protect her, and I think that's a good argument. I just don't think she necessarily needed to start as an empowered kind of character, because she grew up in the zombie apocalypse, kind of sheltered her whole life, and she's being rooted from the life she knows to kind of be a cure. And I feel like they could have maybe done something, like, even like, you could have taken her from kind of a, like, um I don't know if this is cool to say in 2017, but you know, no, you could have taken her from like an Ashley character you need to protect, and have her kind of through as you progress in the game, she could have become a really reliable character in her own right.
Yeah.
And I think the winter chapter, when the player plays as Ellie, I think that's really good.
That would have been a great payoff to her having been like mechanically frustrating, to you
Yeah,
having this full control over her, and she's very competent. Yeah.
yeah, I think there's definitely, because like that would actually work also in the story, because she has to care for Joel.
Yeah.
Like, now she's protecting him, which means she has to foster a bunch of new responsibilities. She has to like grow up 10 years ahead of time. And I like the winter chapter as is, but I think you could have done something with those characters more than just kind of, yeah, you duck and you shoot, and every now and then you'll throw a brick
Or a bottle.
or a bottle or a bottle.
I really like the DLC because of that. Like, it sort of has the gameplay. I don't. Did you play the?
Yeah, you throw it through a car.
I mean, like it recontextualizes the
Yeah.
gameplay as like bonding with her friend, which is more
Yeah.
than any of the other like any of the mechanics did in the main game. Where it's just we're killing other people, and it just shows that we kill people. You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, we're friends and we're bonding or whatever. So I really like that. But yeah, the main game kind of floundered on that.
Yeah. But like I said before I started kind of crapping on it, I really respect The Last of Us. I think it's doing great things in terms of people who don't care about video games take them seriously.
Hmm.
And I really hope The Last of Us 2, because I think Bruce Straley, he took a leave of absence from Naughty Dog, didn't he?
Correct.
Do you think he's being given the giving? Do you think they're giving him the boot like they did to Amy Hennig? Amy Henning? Amy Henning?
He was a gameplay director, though, right?
Yeah, and that's kind of worrying. I don't know if Neil Druckmann. I'm not calling out Neil Druckmann. He's probably more. He has more experience under his belt than I do. But I don't know if he should be put in charge of the game, because I don't think he emphasizes the parts of the games that I personally like. So maybe that's unfair to call for him to, like, you're not making the game I want,
Right.
Neil. And like, I don't, he's never solo directed a game, so that may not be true. Like, maybe he is going to really, really emphasize, you have to bring it to the mechanics. You have to, it has to be in the hands of the player. There needs to be this connection. And he's often spoken about that, like, that Naughty Dog, like, we're very conscious about how it's kind of in, like, the controller, how it feels. I think in all the interviews I've seen, it's more so him that discusses it than Bruce Straley.
Uh-huh.
I don't know, like with The Last of Us 2, I like, yeah, absolutely make it because people want it, and I think like it's, at least it's going to be something.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know, maybe characters as more than just kind of ammo suppliers.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm thinking maybe Bruce Straley was like, we need to have this very stealthy, a game of its time mechanically.
Yeah.
And Neil maybe had to work from that, Like, obviously
Yeah.
they probably had the setting down, but it was like he couldn't figure out a good way to mesh the narrative into that gameplay comfortably for like a wide audience.
Yeah, yeah, that's absolutely fair. And with Uncharted 4, they took that game when it was like half complete and they remade it. The fact that it works at all is amazing,
Wait,
because
what do you mean
people
they remade it?
they changed the voice. They got Troy Baker to voice Sam Drake, Nathan Drake's brother.
Yeah.
That wasn't originally him. There was some guy who did it, and they released a trailer where he was like, you know, you put me away. You put me away, Drake, for 15 years. So clearly, like, there was definitely in the original script, because this trailer came out before the Amy Hennig departed. And there was this kind of, so there's a new, they were introducing a character who Drake had betrayed, which maybe it was his brother, maybe it wasn't. Whichever it was, that was not the direction the game eventually took, because they, like I said, they got Troy Baker to revoice that, and they revoiced that character. And they definitely changed a lot of the backstory for that character. And yeah, like Amy Hennig left and they had to sort of rewrite it. They had to rework what they wanted to do with it, which is like, I don't know how many people which don't know about video games would listen to this, but that is like, it is a monumental task. Like, people go in and like, they'll re-edit a movie. Yeah. Or like, even during, let's not relate this to movies, but because you have to get every technical element just perfectly. Like, you have to know exactly what the team was going to do with it. And you have to be able to use what already worked. You have to bring in new ideas. And I think they merged the two teams back together. So you have to account for a larger staff, and it's just a managemental, like, from a management perspective, it's a nightmare.
Yeah.
The fact that this game is not a mess, that it's a it's a very nice looking, it plays really well, and it runs really smoothly, for me at least. Like, that is amazing.
Yeah.
That is a success story. I wanted to play the Amy Hennig Uncharted 4 game, however.
Right.
But yeah, so like, Uncharted 4 gets a free pass. You can't make a masterpiece under those circumstances.
No. I mean, it's hard to even make a game, with that many people. That is, and that needs to sell, because like, that game is probably the best looking game so far. I'll say. So that costs a lot of money.
Yeah, and
you gotta make that back.
And there is the expectation, because they know, this is The Last of Us, guys.
Yeah.
So they have to appease that crowd now, which may or may not be a good thing. I don't know. I think I have a lot of kind of, just from the Jack games, I have a lot of unexplainable confidence in Naughty Dog. Of course I hope they deliver, but I don't know. I'm more excited for Death Stranding than I am Last of Us 2.
Even if that game's bad, it's gonna be weird.
It's gonna be weird. It's not gonna be bad. I mean, come on. Kojima is off the leash.
Like, Metal Gear Solid 4 exists, though. I don't know how you feel about that one. I think
that is kind of an Uncharted 4 situation, though, because Kojima didn't start as the director.
Oh.
No, there was another guy, and he received so many death threats that God. Kojima was brought on board. And if you play that game with the attitude that, I'm Hideo Kojima and I don't want to direct these games anymore, because it is kind of just this is what you people like, isn't it? I'm gonna kill Solid Snake. You know, the cool kind of guy? Yeah, I'm gonna make him old. I'm gonna make him very old. I'm gonna irradiate him. Like,
wow, that's an interesting angle.
and then you have Peace Walker, which is just kind of like that may be sort of an hobby, that might be like a little project he wanted to do.
Yeah.
Maybe it's kind of an ego thing because they made Portable Ops without him, and he's kind of like, no, I make Metal Gear Solid. Because Peace Walker is kind of weird in the Metal Gear Solid timeline.
Yeah.
Or maybe he genuinely just kind of, oh, you want to pay me, a lot of money to make a killer app for the PSP? Okay. Do you want to be Metal Gear Solid? Sure. Like, I don't know. And Metal Gear Solid 5, like, he was locked in a room away from the development team. So, like, again, you can't. Yeah, he was. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. There's a good reason he left. People are like conspiracy theorists. I kind of subscribe to the theory that Silent Hills was never going to happen. It was just a way for him to kind of leave Konami while still being the good guy. Because he was really highly positioned. He was a vice president there. He could have okayed every part of that design without anyone knowing anything. Like, he could have just gone, oh yeah, we're making assets for Metal Gear Solid 5. There's probably a good video on this. I think I've seen it. Where it's just kind of like, there's a lot of evidence suggesting that Kojima just wanted to get away from Konami, which I get because those guys are lunatics.
Yeah. That's depressing. They made Silent Hill, and now they're basically dead.
Yeah, they hate made it. They like the Team Silent. Do you know how Team Silent formed?
I think you mentioned it in your video, but I do not recall.
It was just a bunch of misfits from various departments of Konami brought together. Like, you're gonna make a game, or we're gonna fire you. And not only are we gonna fire you, you are never ever going to hold down a job in Japan again.
Oh. Yeah,
which kind of explains why a lot of the Team Silent crew, like Takayoshi Sato, I think, the animator for the first game, and I think he was the director of the second one. Mm-hmm. He may not have been. He's with EA now, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Masahiro Ito, I think he kind of freelances stuff. I don't know what happened to Hiroyuki Owaku. Koichiro Oda? No, that's not him. The guy that directed the first Silent Hill, he's like, his studio is making Gravity Rush with the PlayStation exclusive, which is kind of weird.
I mean,
like, you make Silent Hill, okay, interesting.
Yeah, I think looks fun. So,
yeah, it's supposed to be pretty fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, Konami, like, and then they take, what was it, Kaiji Inafune, they take him, the director of Castlevania, Symphony of the Night. Oh yeah, we're gonna make him do a lot of mobile games. I'm pretty sure they did that. And no, I'm going to Kickstarter. Screw you guys.
Right. What do you think of his? I forget what the game's titled, but his Kickstarter game. What do you think? If you've seen anything.
What was it? Bloodstained?
Yes.
Ritual something. I think it's interesting. Mm-hmm. I've not seen enough of it, and I don't know. It's probably going to be good because, like, it's a guy who's been artistically kind of stifled for the past 10 years, getting a crack at this.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be something. I know a lot of people kind of equate it to, what was it, Mighty Number 9, the Mega Man. I don't think that is a fair comparison because what's his name? The director of Mighty Number 9.
Oh, frick. You just made a Mega Man video. You should know.
Yeah, this. I should know this. I think I discussed it a bit in the video. He did a lot of great things for Mega Man, like the series. Mm-hmm. he did not make Mega Man.
Right.
Mega Man was pretty well. It was in development, and it was very kind of. It was pretty much a thing when he arrived.
Wasn't he just like an artist?
Yeah, well, he drew the Mega Man sprite. He made a lot of assets for that game.
Okay.
And I'm pretty sure he went on to direct some of the better Mega Man games.
Mm-hmm.
I think, but yeah, he definitely has, like, his fingerprints are all over the Mega Man series. But I don't think it's necessarily fair to say that Mighty Number 9 kind of this is what you people are funding, because one game which had a lot of people were placing a lot of hopes on it. They were expecting to be blown away by a 2D side-scrolling shooter. Yeah, I don't know.
And that went through a lot of development problems, I think. So
Yeah,
yeah.
apparently so. Yeah, he's no Naughty Dog.
He doesn't have Sony behind him. So, yeah.
He doesn't have the big bucks.
Not $3 million, maybe. I don't know what the Kickstarter raised, but yeah, not a big chunk of change.
Nah.
All right. Well, we've been talking for 2 hours plus.
Yeah. Whoa.
It flew by though. That's the
Yeah,
thing about these interviews. It
Yeah.
sucks because it's like, oh, they have to end. That's weird.
Yeah, we can definitely do this again someday.
Oh, yeah.
I'm
I would
having a
love
lot of
to.
fun. Maybe next time we'll kind of know what we're going to talk about.
Yeah. I mean, hey, I had some questions.
Yeah, yeah. When I say we, I kind of meant me.
Oh, okay. I mean, we could probably, if you want me on your podcast, I don't know if you want that. I'm not imposing, but then
No,
if
no,
there's a
absolutely,
game to talk
absolutely.
about, or some like very broader topic to talk about, then we could do that. But
Yeah, absolutely. It would be actually pretty great, because I would like to get around to at least recording some episodes. Maybe, like, definitely not releasing them, just kind of testing the template with what is possible to do with it.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's definitely possible.
Yeah, let me know.
Yeah, I will.
And I will have linked your YouTube account in the description. And yeah, so
I have 2 good videos, people. 2 of them are good. Find out which ones next time.
No, you have to watch them all to figure out which ones are the good ones.
Yeah. They'll flash like a smiley face or a frowny face. 2 of them have smiley faces. Flashes on the screen for 3 frames. Blink and you'll miss it.
Shit. And I'll link your Patreon as well, down there, in case anyone gets,
Yeah, thanks. Thanks a lot.
All right,
Okay.
cool. Well, thanks for talking.
Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah.
It's been a lot of fun.
And hopefully I'll talk to you in the future.
Absolutely.